In the still of the night, I think of you. My heart beats with every...
Eva turned to Mma. So it's true, she's your mother. I have no mother. Mma answered very quickly. I get you. It will take time. Keep an open mind. There are always truth untold. Truth untold? I hate to say this now. It might probably hurt you more, but I have known your mother since childhood, and she's a good person, one of the best people I know. Mma turned to Eva, eyes blazing, but Eva smiled. As far as I know, she's not suffering from any kind of personality disorder, so there must be some truth untold somewhere. What do you want me to do? Mma paused and swallowed her anger. She was not going to let a woman who preferred playing the role of a mother to someone else than her own daughter ruin her day. On getting backstage, everything was going on smoothly. Mma instructed the girls who were going to help the models in and out of their dresses. The models were found in different stages of dressing. Then she introduced Eva and told everyone her role. The show began not long after that. First, casual dresses. People gasped with admiration as the models catwalked one after the other. Photographers walked energetically as if it was going out of fashion. The next line of dresses were the corporate wears. They were ranging from foreign to local materials. A lot of sighs of amazement and pleasure rang through the crowd. There were corporate skirts with silk blouses, even African prints and fabrics made into corporate clothes, coats and suits. People couldn't contain their pleasures as models paraded evening gowns, mostly in local fabrics. Ashoke, kente, and adire fabrics were used for gowns and other evening attires. Your wife is good. I wonder how she does it. I didn't know what she was capable of till tonight. It is in her DNA. She's Amber's daughter. Where is Eva? Don't worry about her much. I don't think my wife would do her any harm. The men chuckled at the ridiculous idea. Uche was quiet through it all, watching with ever-growing respect for Mma and her work. She was actually good, talented and creative. As the models started modeling the wedding gowns and the wedding attires, people could only stare unbelievably from the little brides to page boys, to bridesmaids and groomsmen attires. When all the wedding attires had been paraded, the MC announced the last item but not the least, and he termed it the masterpiece. Just then, Eva stepped into the runway in a sparkling white Regency wedding gown. Eva? Charles exclaimed, looking at the others to make sure his eyes were not deceiving him. They smiled and nodded. He was very proud of Eva as she catwalked slowly down the runway. When the couple got to the center stage, the groom lifted Eva's veil and kissed her briefly on the cheeks. Now that's overdoing it. Chuck laughed, and Uche smiled quietly. He wasn't sure what he would have done had it been Mma kissing the model. Chuck turned to Uche at that moment. You know, you are in for a lot of competition. Your wife is very beautiful and very talented. Yeah, she is. Why do you think I rushed to marry her? Wise guy. But the kind of look she has been getting from these men seems as if they couldn't care less if she was married to a dragon. Uche laughed. Just then, all the models came out one last time, including Eva, and they formed an aisle for Mma as she came out and waved the guests, and the people clapped harder. She waved Uche and blew him a kiss before she went backstage. Shortly after that, she, Eva and Helen came out to join the men. As the three ladies came out, Uche hugged and kissed his wife to show her he was proud of her. As people moved around greeting acquaintances, but above all wanting to exchange greetings with Mma, Mma spotted Tessie and waved her, and Tessie started towards them. Oh Mma, I am so proud of you. You can't believe the praises people have been heaping on you. You were marvelous. I'm so thrilled. Then she stopped suddenly as if noticing the others. She greeted Uche and his friends excitedly. Who is this lovely lady? Chuck asked, smiling for the first time since he came into the room. Tessie turned and regarded him, obviously taken aback by his looks. Mma, you should introduce us. Sorry, mister, she's already taken. Phyllis said, circling Tessie's waist from behind, drawing her to rest on him. Mma saw as Tessie relaxed on him, while Phyllis nipped at her bare neck. Tessie introduced Phyllis as her husband to everyone jovially. I told you all the nice girls are taken. Hungry? Wait here. I'll go and get you something to munch on. Felix, I can get my own food. I am not sick, just pregnant. Doctor's advice? He winked at her and left. As if Phyllis had reminded them of food. One by one, they all dispersed in search of food, leaving Helen alone with Chuck. Helen didn't understand what she was waiting for. She didn't come with a guy, so she couldn't possibly be expecting him to lead to the buffet table. Just as she was about to move away, his words stopped her. I didn't come here with you, so stop acting as if I am your date. There was amusement in his eyes, but Helen was blind to it. You flatter yourself, mister. Helen walked out seething. Everything went well, Ma thought as she kicked off her shoes tiredly. She was tired, but she had promised him she would make it up to him. Would he remember? She watched as he undressed without minding her presence, and she followed, trying and dying out of shyness to act normal. And now, my lady, it is shower time. She looked at him shocked. Shower time? You know when you get under the faucet in a cubicle and let the water wash away the dirt. She smiled. Of course I know what shower time is. But together? He smiled at her and nodded. With the lights on? Yes, usually, so you would see what you are doing. He laughed. Your shyness is too cute, lady. I don't think there is any part of you I have not seen, kissed and touched. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You are the best I've ever had. Ma looked down, a bit shy, but feeling more elated. This compliment, coming from a man of the world like him, who had seen almost all the beautiful women there are, she walked past him, smiling proudly, heading towards the bathroom. Ma woke up alone. She stretched and smiled. She had the most restful sleep, in spite of the seemingly insatiable husband she had been blessed with. She could still feel the evidence of his ardent passion. She knew he left early. He had kissed her before leaving. Then she remembered he was saying something to her, and for the life of her, she couldn't remember what he said. She stood up and saw a handwritten note beside a single red rose flower. Smiling, she picked up the note. Back for 2 weeks? He was picking her up. She looked up shocked. He had mentioned a proper honeymoon before, but she didn't think it would involve traveling. She had a lot to do, and the most important was Eva's wedding. She had barely a month. Okay, she told herself. She could do this. First, a bath. Then get Helen to discuss design and fabric so she could get started on the bridesmaids' dresses. She could sketch the wedding dress on her honeymoon. Next, what to pack. To pack properly, she needed to know where they were going so she could pack for the weather. She picked up her phone and called him. He picked the call at first ring. Pack for 2 weeks? You sound excited. Where are we going? It's a surprise, but I need to know if it's hot or cold weather to pack properly. It doesn't matter what you pack, I may never let you out of bed for the whole 2 weeks. Her heart skipped a beat. It was still a wonder he could still do that to her after 2 nights and days of his earth-shattering passion. Okay, gentlemen, that will be all for now. Ma stopped shocked. Did he just say that to her in the presence of his executives? You are not alone. Some of my people are here. Need to tie up loose ends for our 2 weeks hiatus. And they heard what you said to me? Oh, Uchi, I'm ringing off. She could hear his laughter as she cut the phone. The man was incorrigible, she smiled. Next, she put a call to Helen and invited her over. After a refreshing shower, she walked into her closet to pack. What do people pack? For honeymoon, she asked herself, opening one of her boxes and staring at her clothes confused. Ma stepped out of her room after packing. She was literally walking on air, and suddenly she saw her former housekeeper's daughter and stopped. The girl smiled at her. Good morning. What are you doing here? I am so sorry, madam. She came to visit me. She turned to the girl. I told you to remain at the boys' quarter. Your mother doesn't work here anymore. It's okay. I understand. She's your family. Thank you, madam. And you, to the boys' quarter now. The girl nodded and left. I was going to bring your breakfast upstairs. I am downstairs now, and I am famished. Please serve for two. My assistant is coming. She saw something like shock flash past the woman's face. Is everything alright? It's admirable you're working on your honeymoon. Mma smiled. It's because of my honeymoon that I work today. The doorbell rang. I will get the door. Mma walked to the door and found the delivery of what looked like a whole garden of red roses. Mma Ukoha. It took her a moment to realize that was her new name. Yes, she accepted the flowers. She watched as the man brought the flowers and arranged them in the living room. Wow, Helen exclaimed as she entered. She smiled at Helen and picked up the card. The card just read 3 words. I love you, signed, husband. Mma smiled and tried to call Uche, but it wasn't connecting. She made a mental note to call him later. Then she fully turned her attention to Helen. You are glowing. Thank you, Mma laughed. Nice scarf, Helen winked knowingly. Mma laughed. Oh, Helen, stop. Stop what? I just complimented your new fashion style. Okay, yes. All your naughty thoughts are correct. They are the reason I am wearing a scarf. Helen laughed and sat down. You said it was urgent? Yes. Uche and I are leaving for our honeymoon tonight. Yay! Yes, and I have Eva's wedding precisely a month from today. Nothing has been done. We need to finalize on the bridesmaids' gowns, so you and the girls will be done with them by the time I come back. Helen nodded and yawned. Mma caught that. You are tired already? Helen smiled. No, I just didn't get enough sleep last night. Sounds interesting. And I remember Uche saying Chuck gave you a ride home. Oh, it is just that arrogant man you call Chuck. How did I ever think he was my dream man? What did he do? I forgot my purse in his car, and he arrogantly asked me to come get it myself when I asked him to bring it to the store. So my dear girl, what's the big deal in going to his house to pick up your purse? You don't understand. I can't face him, not after what happened when he brought me home. Interesting, go on. He insisted on driving me home, and when we got to my place, somehow we started talking about goodnight kisses. I reminded him again that I wasn't his date, but he said as far as he was concerned, bringing me home qualified him as my date. So I decided to give him a peck and rest the case, but somehow the kiss landed on his lips. But the shameful thing was, when I realized what I was doing, I ran out, therefore forgetting my purse. Why do I feel it's my turn to start teasing? Come on, I hate his guts. He makes me feel like I'm 15 instead of 25. I would tell you to go there with your head held high and be blind to his wealth, his looks, and even to the fact that he is a man. You will get even by getting under his skin. Believe me, I'm talking from experience. They smiled at each other. Mma was back in the master suite after Helen was gone. She tried to reach Uche again, but his number was still not connecting, and she wondered what was going on. Then she turned her mind to more mundane things. She needed to go over a few things with Mrs. Epo, like meal times, work schedule, her family visiting. She didn't want her sully cousin ever coming to her house to visit her. Thinking about mealtime, she decided to have a surprise dinner for Uche to thank him for the flowers. But they were leaving for the airport, she thought. Since they were using a private jet and his private airstrip, she could enjoy a good dinner, just the two of them, before leaving. She wondered what he would like to eat and decided to go see Mrs. Epo and find out what ingredients they have and what they could quickly buy. She found no one in the kitchen and wondered where the woman was. She brought out her mobile phone to call her, but it was ringing without response. She walked out of the kitchen. Mma entered the living room and suddenly there was this foreboding feelings all around her. She felt an evil presence in the house, but she saw no one in the living room. She had the mind to leave quickly or call Uche, but she shook off the feelings. It was already confirmed that Angela was in a psych hospital abroad. Then a movement caught her eyes. Her eyes widened in shock. She couldn't believe her eyes at the person lying down on the couch and watching a movie. What are you still doing here? The person gave her a smile for answer, and before she could react to that, She was hit with something hard from behind and she collapsed on the ground.
In the still of the night, I think of you. My heart beats with every thought of you. You're the one I can't let go. In your arms I find my